This is the Zapata Brand Podcast, Quick Hits Edition, with George Zapata, with Coach Diz, and Jersey Jay-Z.
And guys, what?
Look who's back!
Wow! Well, after this long period, Jay-Z grew his hair back.
That's exactly what happened.
He grew his hair back. This long absence did very well for his follicles.
Since we're back, I'm going to do something too.
Okay. Whoa!
You see that?
Jay-Z.
Whoa!
Quick Hits T-shirts now available. Please buy something from us.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jay-Z back in the game here. Coach Diz in the middle. Jay-Z all the way to the corner. Well, Jay-Z, where the hell you been?
I've been busy running around New Jersey with Greg, going to a couple of events, and I got another event coming up January 27th.
Yeah, it's called Anthony Ruggiano.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a special guest, I think, right?
There will be a special guest there, live stream coming in. We're working on one thing. We just have one little minor detail we have to fix. But what happened yesterday, Jersey, where you were at?
I was at UFC Gym in North Brunswick, New Jersey. Ronnie Coleman was there. He was doing a big presentation seminar. NDO Champ was there. Rich Kaspari was there. Guy Cisterino was there. We just had a good time talking, hanging out with Ronnie. Got some contacts, and they will be also coming out.
And you put that on your channel there, Joe Zapata TZB on YouTube. Subscribe, like to the channel. It is a spinoff now for the Quick Hits and the Zapata Brand Podcast here. So also like and subscribe to this channel. We are closing in. We're at 901 subs.
100 short.
We have 901, so we're 99 short.
There we go.
901. We got 901. But Coach Diz, what were you up to yesterday? We haven't spoken. You were here for a little bit, but then you had to get out of here. I saw my son wrestle. What was going on?
No, nothing. Just busy with work, and then I'm on a little vacation this week from work. So I watched the fights and last night, and probably be in the shop this week.
All right, good.
Help you out. You got a lot of baskets or something.
A lot of baskets going on there. A lot of stuff with the holiday coming up. But also, what I'll say is, what people have missed is our question segment. So we're going to get right into it today with our questions.
It's now time for your questions on the Zapata Brand Podcast with Jersey Jay-Z.
Well, that is your cue, Jersey. So if you can, since we're just fire away at the questions and we'll get the best we can. Go ahead, buddy.
All right. So we got Greg W. from Mahwah, New Jersey wants to know, George, you've talked about the Ali Act. Can you explain to me what it is and is it enforced?
It is enforced. The Ali Act kind of protects the fighter and the boxer itself, whereas the manager cannot be. It's more or less the manager and cannot be the promoter of the fighter as well, because it's double dipping. It is enforced pretty sternly, but there are people that can get away from it. That you can get away from it by saying you're a consultant. Advisor. That's what they use. That's what Al Heyman uses. He says advisor.
I was going to say that.
They can go around it. Whether it's legal or not, I mean, I'm not an attorney. I couldn't tell you. But it's an act that was put in that has helped the boxers. But one of the things that it doesn't do is close that loophole. It protects the boxers. Don King was notorious. Would have the manager, and his son would be Don King would be the promoter. Son would be the manager. So there would be like a 50% cut out of it. Tim Witherspoon told me how that worked. And he got robbed bad, really bad.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Freddie F. from Teaneck, New Jersey. He says that he loved the Buddy McGirt interview. He realizes he's one of the best trainers around. He goes, who do you think is the best trainer ever? Angelo Dundee, Emmanuel Stewart, Freddie Roach. What do you guys consider the best?
Okay. I'll go first. I always liked Emmanuel Stewart. The way he changed Lennox Lewis, changed Klitschko. So I always liked Emmanuel Stewart. What about you?
Yeah, Emmanuel is probably one of my favorite too. He went on a good run there where he got all the heavyweights, and he had a run of Klitschko, Lewis. There's another one in there that he had, Oliver McCall, when he knocked out Lennox Lewis.
Michael
but
Moore.
Michael Moore didn't have him as a heavyweight champion
Before
Teddy Atlas, but he had him before. Those are Manuel Stewart probably is number one for me.
What about Eddie Futch?
Eddie Futch was very good. Georgie Benton. Georgie Benton, he was very good. Philadelphia guy, fought real well. You know, it's hard because it depends on how you mesh with certain people. Like Teddy Atlas meshed well with Tim Bradley. Pacquiao meshed well with Freddie Roach. So you do have to have that mesh together, that you do work well together, because some people just can't. Like Jermaine Taylor couldn't work well with Emmanuel Stewart. It wasn't going to work. So you have to have both those sides of someone who works very well with him and someone who's willing to be trained by him too. And not every system works. But why I think Emmanuel Stewart was so good is because he took what he had and made it better.
George, so I got just a quick thing. What about Roger Mayweather? I know Mayweather, Floyd, you know, he had talent throughout galore, but Roger was good. I just liked Roger but he didn't train a lot of people.
Oh, I think Roger was really good. It's just that Roger did had one style. You know, he did the Philly shell, and that was his style. He tweaked it a little bit, but if you noticed, a lot of Roger's fighters, their defense really good, their offensive wasn't great, and that's the difference there. And vice versa, Emmanuel Stewart's offense was really good, defense wasn't great.
No,
but speaking of that, I don't know. But here's the strangest thing: their defenses were really good, but if you've noticed, Roger,
what's going on?
I was going to say that Roger, he had his speaking and the slurring of the speech was bad, as we lost Coach Diz there for a minute. And I just saw Floyd Sr., an interview of Floyd Sr., and he looked bad. He looked really bad. So I wasn't sure if they're, you know, maybe the defense is really good, but I don't know. It definitely changed differently, as Coach Diz is going to pop back on here in a second. I'll get him back on here. I'll move you over here.
Sorry.
There. What the hell was that?
I heard the theme music in the background. I don't know why. So I must have pressed something. The theme music
All right.
was going on.
Alrighty.
Oh, as I was saying, I was saying about Roger and his speaking towards the end of his life wasn't good, and I just showed you that interview with Floyd. Floyd Sr. looks terrible, and he doesn't even look the same. And I thought he was pretty sharp.
I think he knows where he is.
They
asked him to pose, and he was taking his shirt off.
Yeah, it wasn't good. It wasn't a good look there. And again, I don't mean to talk bad about him, but holy cow, it was a bad look. And I didn't think. I don't know. It don't look good. It doesn't look good.
Wow. All right. Next question. Raymond from Paramus, New Jersey says, George, how much would a referee make for something like a Canelo Charlo fight?
That depends. I think anywhere between 10 to 18,000. The higher end, maybe 35,000 for the night. That's a high end. I remember seeing, I think it was Richard Steele. He was on a show, and he said that he had gotten 15 grand for Tyson Ruddock. He was on some show. So you're talking, that was 92?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be way more than that. I don't think it's in the hundreds of thousands. I don't think it's that.
Well, after that, let's just go into something. Who do you think's the best referee? We'll just go right there to that.
I think Kenny
Mills
Bailey.
I like it.
Well,
Mills
Mills Lane's passed away, but
of all time,
right? Of all time, Mills Lane. I think Mills Lane was the best referee. That's the best referee. I think also I like Steve Smoger. The only thing with Steve, he let the fights go a little bit too long. Sometimes he'd let that go. But
Richard Steele.
You know, Richard wasn't a bad rap. He got a bad rap. He got a bad rap
one time.
He got a bad rap. But there's never been any proof that he did anything. Never. There was never any instances he had with Don King. Ruddock would have got knocked out. Let's be honest. He was wobbling all over like on roller skates. He would have been knocked out. So that's number one. He stopped the fight maybe a touch too early, but he was getting knocked out anyway. But to say that he had something that he was a bad ref, totally wrong. Because before those fights, he was cheered. Then after that, he was booed. But it wasn't. You know, he has a gym in Vegas, I think, still now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he teaches amateurs.
Oh wow. Okay, not bad. We'll go to our next question then. This is from, and I figure this can lead way into our next topic. This was from Mary. She says she's a female boxer, and she really looks up to Shields. And she said she doesn't understand whose side to agree upon between Derek Santos's camp or Shields. She says, can you help her explain what you think and what, because she doesn't have an opinion.
Good.
If you heard the interview with Derek, so the thing is, I agree with Derek because they've sparred 4 rounds, 2 previous rounds with the same gloves on. Then you go ahead and spar the next 2. She gets caught, she gets embarrassed, and then they want to start, you know, saying that the gloves were wrong, they had no padding and stuff like that. But again, you know, her trainer didn't come out and say anything. So, and also too, you know, George will talk into it with training with, like, for instance, Sophia. Male fighters have to fight female fighters in the gym, and that's what's just going to happen. You know, you have to get male fighters that know how to work with them. But again, I think Clarissa Shields talks a little bit too much when sparring, and he probably got a little pissed off and threw it a little too hard. Go ahead, Drake.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you saw the punch, that was very hard. The punch was very short, very hard, quick. But also, if you look at it, she didn't see it coming. She didn't see that punch coming. So, number one, and I've told everyone a million times, you got to know how to work with a woman, because if you don't know how to work, sparring can get very crazy, and you get pissed. The other one gets pissed. You get hit. Then you start hitting back, and then you realize, oh, whoa, I'm going a little bit too hard. And then because they'll back up. It's very rare you have a girl like a Clarissa Shields, I think, would fight. But then if that guy came back throwing live rounds, I think Clarissa Shields would get knocked out. So I think here's what happened. I think she was going around talking about boxing Keith Thurman and boxing this guy and saying she would beat this guy and beat this guy.
Triple G.
I mean, no way that she'd be able to I don't even think she'd be able to compete with them, let alone beat them. So when you're sparring with a girl, you have to be very careful as to how you're doing it, because just naturally you're going to hit harder, and it doesn't matter. Sometimes we put girls in that are 120 in with people that are, you know, or someone's a 120 in with someone's like 175. You got to know how to work. But and vice versa, you want a smaller guy in there with a girl who they can, and younger, who they can maneuver a little bit and let that guy throw a little bit. So I think what happened here is this. No one has questioned, because I was getting heat from people saying that you're saying she got exposed because she got knocked out. She was by a man. It's not what I said. What I said, she got exposed for being a fraud and a liar. She got hit. She got knocked down. It happens all the time. But when you turn around and say to somebody that they took the padding out of their glove, that's criminal. So now you're excusing someone of of course, obviously they sparred Monday and then came back Thursday. So now there's malicious intent, according to Clarissa Shields. There's malicious intent to hurt her. Okay,
but that's not what happened. Yeah,
that is not what happened. Then she has some wild story about Roberto Duran's gloves that were given to him. Derek has never met Roberto Duran. Could there and why I said this to Derek is there a possibility? And as you know, working with gloves, sometimes the padding becomes less and less over years.
Yeah.
I said, is it possible that you grab some padding that it moved and shifted? And he said no. So I've reached out to Shields' manager, Shields herself, Harold, the guy who was sparring with Shields, and Derek. Derek was the only one who responded. Now, we have a relationship, so I mean, he said he would come on. But why are all these other people quiet? And what about John David Jackson?
Yep.
They're not saying anything. If it was true, and that happened, and I would think you would, because if something happened to one of my fighters, I would say, hey, what are you doing? You know, I would be pissed. And that sparring would be over. and I'd never work with the guy again.
And that's the thing. So you're telling me this is the one and only time supposedly he did that? No, he's not gonna just do it one. If he did do it one time, it would be previous time. People will know. People talk.
It's like Margarito.
Yeah, he did it with Kodo, with Mosley.
Cintron,
Yeah,
Kodo. He got caught, and he got caught with Mosley.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and what happened after he got caught? Got knocked out.
Yep.
You know, so don't tell me, and don't tell me that these fights that he had with the Cintrons and everybody else, that as the fight got on, he got better. No way. That he got better because the casting in his hand got wet and made a cast. That's why he got better. So his punches hurt more.
Like Kodo, he doesn't get knocked down. Kodo, I mean, he gets wobbled a little bit. He took a knee. He never quits, and he was just like, you know what? Forget this. This is too much.
And that's the thing. You know, that's why her story doesn't make any sense whatsoever. No sense.
And she's quiet now. There's nothing.
No, wow, she's got on to Alicia Baumgartner. She challenged Baumgartner challenged Clarissa Shields at 147 to see if they would fight at 147, which I think that would be a big mistake for Baumgartner. Well, she's very good. Carissa's big.
You know, I'll be honest with you. I was just going to say that. I didn't know how big Calissa was. She was pushing almost 180 at that time.
180. Yeah, and he was 147. So again, there you go, JC. There's the difference in weight, and it's got to be controlled. Now, I do think Arthur went too hard on that punch. I think because she said to him, "Is that all you got?" Mm-hmm. About 30 seconds later, her legs were straight up in the air.
Yep.
I was like, "Oh, that's not good." Wow. So, all right, next one.
All right, next one. This was a.
Oh, here we go.
This is from Jimmy D from Bergen County, New Jersey. Sure. He says, you know boxing very well, and I heard you played baseball. Who do you think gets more nervous, a boxer or a pitcher?
Well, according
that
to
was
Jimmy
put
Davies,
in there from Tommy Good, by the way.
According to Jimmy Davies,
from Jimmy Davies, Jimmy D.
And the fire department pitchers, they tend to get more nervous. Yeah,
what?
According to Jimmy Davies, the pitchers that were opposing fire department would get nervous at some point.
Well, I got another question here. This is a wrestling question.
Go ahead.
Okay.
And this is said Zapata boys, were you fans of the NWO?
I loved them. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think everybody loved them. It was something different. I think they played the role well. Then it got a little stupid with, Big Boss Man was in it.
When Nash and Scott Hall came over, that was the best.
And Hulk Hogan, that was the best one. That was the best one.
Before Hulk Hogan, was just them two. That was great.
When you power bomb Eric Bischoff. I mean, stuff like that you'll never see again. But that was a time, the golden age for us.
Yeah,
we had two little golden eras. We had the ones where Hulk Hogan was there, and was the Iron Sheik and their guy, Roddy Piper, Paul Orndorff, Junkyard Dog. Those golden, and then we got to the Attitude Era. That took it to a next level because it crossed over into mainstream again, but they pushed the envelope until it got a little out of hand there. And then but also I think the people who watched the golden era when we were watching it, they kind of lost interest a little bit, and then they were brought back in. So you had the kids that were there, and then we got brought in at 21, 22, 23 years old, and we were going to the arenas, buying the tickets, whatever, because we actually had money to buy it. So they had both ends there, and it was that was the time to really be a good wrestling.
Wow. All right, here's the next question from RJ from South Orange. He says, I recently watched the James Toney Razor Ruddock fight. How can they actually put on that fight, and who can sanction something like that?
Oh, James. I was like,
when do they fight?
Yeah. Oh my God, Diz. You tell
how
me
can that happen, and why would that happen?
Money. They need money. That's bottom line. I mean,
I guess so. What do you think?
George, go ahead. I just can't even talk about it.
Well, it's funny. I talked to Rachel Charles a couple days ago, and she was talking to me about James. And we both agreed, James shouldn't be in the ring. There's no way. If you ever talk to the guy, there's no way he should be in the ring. Razor Ruddock, I didn't really hear him speak. I don't know how he is. Definitely needs money, but that's not on Razor Ruddock. That's on Delroy Ruddock, who stole from him. Evidently, they had a split, and he stole money from him.
Okay.
Whether that's true or not, I don't know. I think they went to court or something. But Delroy looked a little funny anyway. But why they're in there is obviously money. And I only think they got $1,500.
That's
ridiculous.
Which is an insanely grossly amount of money to be paid to get in a ring at that age. You should not be. You should be paid nothing. Only because they shouldn't be in there.
Nope.
There's no way you should be in the ring. If you're taking $1,500 for that, you really have some issues. I don't think someone should have sanctioned that.
Nope.
They did. They said it was an exhibition, but they were throwing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, James Toney just throws. That's all he knows.
Yeah.
I mean, in sparring, he just is wild. That's the one thing with James Toney. He doesn't do any like other training. He just spars.
But this is what's funny. I happened to get in this YouTube loop of these fights, and I saw these two old men fighting. And it wasn't even like a hard punch hit the guy. Out he went, banged his head off this thing. It was in a supermarket. That's how crazy it is right now. It was so. What I'm saying is, there's two guys that don't really know how to punch or do anything. They're old men. They're old. He banged him in the head, boom, down he goes. What if something like that happened with like a Razor Ruddock to James Toney? I mean, whoever sanctioned that should be ashamed of themselves, really.
What would happen if one of them got hurt? Let's say, God forbid.
They probably signed off.
Well, I mean, the commission. Well, here's what they do. As a matter of fact, I'll go into the story about what we'll talk about in a minute. The commission, once you get that paperwork signed, it's got to be signed off. Now, they can get around with the exhibitions. That's why boxing's so shady. You can get around the whole exhibition thing. You can get around all these little things, and no one's held accountable for anything, really. Because think about it. All right. So Leo boxed Frank Kane. Okay. Mm-hmm. There was no paperwork or anything signed there. Leo, it was an exhibition. If something, God forbid, happened, who's liable?
Yeah.
They ain't going to sue Frank. They ain't going to sue Leo. Who's liable? Not saying it shouldn't happen. I'm just saying that's why there's always these things around things that you can get in boxing. So let's take Razor Ruddock now. Something happens, they're going to go first after the commission to find out who sanctioned that. After they find out who sanctioned it, which, if you're on a Indian reservation, there is no commission.
Yep.
It's their own commission.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So then they go back. Who they're going to sue then? Nobody. They both don't have any money. Wow. Maybe the doctor. Now, what I'll say is, it looks like April 27th, we'll be fighting here in Berwick. I know that I have to get in
shape.
That's what we're going to do. We're going to monitor my progress. Okay. So today I'm 203. So
how much?
203. 203. So anyway, listen. So okay, so now I have to get my stress test in, and they really go over it. It's one of those things that they really go over, because they don't want anything to happen. So they're on the hook. They sanction it. They're on the hook. I don't know, but they're not sanctioning. They didn't sanction that Ruddock fight. I don't think. I mean, I don't know who did or who would have. I wouldn't even know where to look on that. I think it was just an exhibition, to be honest with you. They were paid $1,500, but God willing, nobody gets hurt, and that's fine. But for $1,500,
no.
I mean, hell, I don't even think I'd do it for $1,500, and I would do anything. I mean, come on, but $1,500, I don't think so.
Oh man, all right, that's about it.
Oh well, a couple other things that we wanted to run over quick is the guests that are coming up.
Got it. Go ahead.
We had Vince Papali on. Okay,
great guy. Vince is
great guy, fantastic guy. I mean, you know, it's funny because the more and more people that I talk to in Berwick that tell, hey, I saw the just today. I talked to Jim Megan, and he was telling me how he's like, you can just tell that Vince is a really down to earth guy, and he was like, he's a down to earth guy. He just he seems like a very nice guy you could have a cup of coffee with, just sitting there talking to him, and he's a good guy who made it. So he resonated that on the camera.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
We have coming up tomorrow, Kevin Ioli, which is a Yahoo Sports, well, formerly Yahoo Sports writer, very, very well known in the boxing circles, covered every major fight in the last 2 decades, 3 decades,
and MMA.
And then he did MMA for the last few, as UFC, and him and Dana White are very close friends. He got Ariel Helwani started in on the MMA Hour, and got him some very good gigs. So he'll be on. After that, we have Kevin Hines. Kevin Hines was the survivor of the Golden Gate Bridge. He jumped off of it, survived, one of 13, and I think he's 2 or 3 that can walk.
So these are dropping Monday.
These are dropping from the Golden Gate Bridge.
No. I'm talking about the interviews are dropping. One dropping Monday.
Yeah, one drops Monday. Kevin Ioli drops Monday. Mm-hmm. Tuesday will be Kevin Hines. Wednesday will be someone that I interviewed on Saturday. He's a kid. He's the youngest one I've had on here. He's 14-year-old. AJ DeAngelis. Okay, he's a power lifter. He comes from Plymouth Meeting, Pennsylvania. Him and his dad came on. They know Greg, or they met Greg a few times.
Yep, you know Greg. Mm-hmm.
And
First of all, hold on, wait. What was the first thing he said? The kid.
Who?
The kid. What was it?
So when he get on, no, it wasn't the kid, it was the father.
Oh, okay.
When we get on, the first thing he says, "Where's Jersey JC?"
That's right.
Like, you got me. How about that? I sent your number.
I already talked to him. Yep.
Okay, good. So we're looking. His son has a meet down in Newark.
In Newark, yes. I'm going to try and get that. I've talked to Greg. We're going to go down.
Oh shit, that's the event. That's because that's Ruggiano.
Oh, okay. So then maybe I don't know. I got to see. I don't know. We'll have to figure something out. Because I might have to drive in. I'll have to talk to him and see. Maybe I won't be able to
go. We have to figure that out. Anthony, I think's on a Friday. I think
the event's on a Saturday. I think
the event's on a Saturday. Well, I know the event's on a Saturday, but I think Anthony's on a Friday. I'm not sure. After that, we have so his will probably drop Wednesday or Thursday. I'm not sure. I have to get, because of the holiday, it makes things very crazy here. Yep. Editing it and putting it together are 2 different things. I always is already up and ready to go. That's going to be dropping right at 7:00 on Monday. That's a non-issue. Kevin Hines right after that, non-issue. The other couple I have to edit. Then I have a girl coming in studio. There's Angela Lero. She has a book. She was diagnosed with a disease years ago, and she actually healed herself with her eating. Wrote a book about it, what have you. She's on a carnivore diet, and she's going to go talk about it and how overcome her struggles and what she's done through the last. And she's a Berwick girl. Wrote a book. Came in. Someone reached out to me about it, and we wanted to get her on. So I thought that was important too.
Is she still on a diet? Like we're now?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm assuming, because that's her lifestyle now. It's really changed what she does. So
get some tips. Get some tips.
Yeah, no, I certainly will. But after listen, mark that down. 203 today.
Yep, I got it.
I got to go to 175 by April 27th. That's not that horrible, because it's not as bad as you think. It's not as bad as you think, because I haven't. You got to remember, I wasn't able to spar at all with my shoulder and my neck. I couldn't do anything. So I couldn't do that. So I mean, hell, I might get hit next week and I'm out. I mean, it could really be that way. So I'm going to
175. Wow, that's pretty tough.
Yeah, I think Sean is already 175. If you've seen his pictures.
Wow.
Yeah, he just fought at Nationals probably a month ago, I think.
And you're going to fight Sean again, Sean O'Malley?
Yeah, Sean O'Malley. I would. I better not be fighting Sean O'Malley. You out of your mind? Jesus. No, Sean McFadden.
McFadden.
Yeah. Jesus. What's the matter with you? So hopefully that gets done quickly. I know Leo's fighting on the show too. We're still trying to work on Landon and Gotti's kid. We're just trying to work on it. It's just it's a tough thing to do. It's really tough, but we're gonna get it. But before we wrap up, let's do a couple things. Number one, we are 99 subs away from 1,000.
99
August. You know, we got it. We have to get to that 1,000 mark before we can. Well, look. Let's be honest here. The podcast brought us into Teddy's world. We got into Teddy's world. Teddy's world provided the gym with generous donation to the gym. So everything that we're getting is going back into the community. So once we get that, we get the ads. It doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't cost you anything to press the subscribe button. Just press the button, and eventually we'll get ads and whatever. If you guys want to buy a shirt or whatever, it's in the shop. There, you can get a shirt, a cup, a mug, a hoodie, stickers, and what have you. We got that. So subscribe, please. No, the shirt doesn't look like that. It's a regular shirt with our logo on it.
It's what you're wearing.
It's exactly what I'm wearing here, right there. So if you do go there, go to the Zapata Brand podcast. It's on YouTube. Just press the subscribe button, please. It helps us get those guests. We just got to get to 1,000, and then once we do that, usually it takes off after that. Also, go to Joe Zapata -TZB. That's Jersey Jay-Z's YouTube channel. Just started up there. He's going to be presenting a lot of stuff from the bodybuilding world. Greg's going to be there. Ronnie Coleman. A couple other guys there. He's going to show you your jersey and what jersey is all about. Not Jersey, him. New Jersey, the state of
New Jersey, the state.
Yeah. So we're going to do that. So until we meet again, guys, we will go wrap this up. And what do you think will be back again?
George, you have Rachel Charles coming on too?
Rachel Charles will be coming on this week, but it won't drop until it's not going to drop till after the holiday because if I film it today, if I film it on Tuesday, it looks like we're gonna film Tuesday. You don't want to do it. You don't want to do it before the holiday. Ain't nobody gonna watch.
She's a great person too, Rachel. Absolutely.
Rachel Charles is phenomenal. You know the stories, and you know what's funny? We know a lot of the same people.
Yeah,
we do. We know a lot of the same people. She's a great woman. She's
great.
She's really good. Pitch Inc. is her Instagram. You can follow her there. Always great to us, and always gets us great guests and whatever we need from her. Teddy Alice, same way. Sharon Curry, they've always been really good to us. Boom Boom, I haven't heard from him in a little bit, but he's a follower too. So
I know. Hold on, been talking to Ray Mercer, right?
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Merciless Ray Mercer and Jerry Cooney.
Jerry Cooney.
They're coming up in a little bit. We're gonna get them there. Ray Mercer, I am just gonna finish wrapping that up, confirming that probably the end of this week. I will. And then after that, Jerry Cooney. And then, so a lot of this stuff's going to drop. It's going to be stuff that's going to be in the can because I need to take a break here for the holiday. It's super busy here. But keep in contact with the Zapata Brand podcast, Joe Zapata, TZB, both on YouTube. If you can, like and subscribe, please. That'll really help the channel. We could bring those good guests. I got the new camera set up and everything here. We're working on some other things that'll be going to your way. But until then, guys, when do you think we're going to meet up?
Maybe after the holidays, right? I guess right after.
Probably after the holidays, we'll be a little bit busy. And if we do a quick hit, something quick,
unless some news breaks and we have to jump on.
Unless we get that, and I can get
some padded gloves or something.
No, we don't need any more of that controversy there. But until that happens, guys, if we don't see you guys, to the subscribers and to the fans, thank you so much. Have a great holiday. Be safe, but we really appreciate everything. In less than a year. So it's only been since August. We've got 901 subscribers. Hopefully we get to that 1,000 before that special guest that we're going to have in January comes on. Till then, guys, thanks for watching, guys. Jersey, Coach Diz. We'll see you guys.
Yeah. You got it.
Thanks for watching the Zapata Brand podcast. Please subscribe to the podcast and listen where all podcasts are available.